Hey guys, it's Lynk Plays Games. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Our Life. So, I'll admit, I wasn't planning on playing Our Life today. I was actually going to play some Pal World, but I ended up playing Our Life because of technical difficulties. So, let's get into it. Let's see. The sun warmed your skin from its place in the sky. You closed your eyes, enjoying the mix of heat with the pleasant breeze that drifted past you. You and Lee had spread out a blanket on top of one of the hills behind your house and had been relaxing there for a while now. Lee had come over earlier in the day while a range of activities had been discussed, from staying home, headed down to the beach, a picnic on the hill, had been the choice you both settled on. A small spread was laid out in front of you, some bottled water, soft drinks, as well as chips and sliced fruit. You sat up and reached for a snack, listening to Lee talk away about the musical she'd just gotten to see a few days ago. It was unbelievable. They were singing, dancing, and crazy stunts, and it was all done live right in front of my face. Maybe one day we could go together. I've got to see more shows like that. You smiled at Lee's enthusiasm, knowing how much she enjoyed singing and performing. She was good at it too. You'd gotten a chance to hear her sing a couple of tunes, and you know she put a lot of effort into it. I like to sing, and I do have a bit of a talent for it. It was nice the two of you could share that interest. I wonder if maybe we could put on our own show. Think of how fun it'd be. We could perform for our parents and ask our friends and some other people to come watch too. It'd totally work. Yeah, let's do it. You'd actually thought about doing something like that before, but never had the chance to. Okay, I'm gonna sing. Do you want to too, or maybe do something else? I'll sing too. Cool. Anything else come into your head? Let's see, one more thing. I'll write the song? No, I'll play an instrument. Guitar. I know a little bit of guitar. Not enough to actually be comfortable to sing and play. I can't multitask like that. I've learned that the hard way. Especially like with the ukulele. I was really good at playing the ukulele. But to sing and play ukulele does challenge me a bit. Which is ironic, because I could sit here and talk and fidget with something, and I could like sit there at work and like do what I'm supposed to be doing in front of me, you know, just like hands all over the place. But yet, when it comes to playing an instrument, damn it, I lost track of what I was saying. I had to go get the spray bottle for Hayes because she was getting into stuff. Anything else? That's all. The two of you ran back into your house to grab the supplies you needed before heading back out to the blanket to get started. You settled down with the guitar sitting in your lap. Okay. The afternoon passed quickly, the sun dropping lower and lower in the sky. After having thoroughly worked out how the show was going to go, you decided to take a break. We should have invited Cove to watch us practice our show. He could tell us if it was bad before we put on the real thing. That's smart. We should ask him to watch us later. Okay. It's too bad Derek wasn't in the neighborhood today. I like him. He's okay. Okay is better than nothing. But speaking of boys that we like, what's the relationship status between you and Cove? Is it good? You shouldn't gossip. Mind your business, Lee. Mind your business. Where is it? Where is it at? Where? I'm pretty sure he already knows. How about that? You know that he has a crush on you too. It's obvious for him. It's obvious for you. Why not just do it? Okay, the two of you talked a little more about Cove amongst other topics. You found that it was nice having someone to speak with about these sort of things. I'm still waiting for the mind your own business button. Finally, you both decided to pack up everything and head back home for the evening. Lee talked excitedly about the show you did, and you thought back on what you had already accomplished for it. Okay. Tension hung thick in the air as the three of them turned to you. Lee frowning slightly. You had interrupted something, exactly what you weren't sure. No. I guess what's going on? Your moms looked at each other, wondering which of them was going to speak first. Eventually, Mom cleared her throat and spoke. We're just having a talk with your sister. The room fell quiet again, but no one quite knowing what to say. You felt incredibly awkward, but the silence didn't last long. You don't have to stop because those two are here. There's no reason trying to keep it a secret. Elizabeth was asking about her parents. Her biological ones. The world spun around you at the news. You couldn't understand what was happening now. Why was this happening now? Your moms had always been open and honest about the fact that neither of them given birth to you or your sister, but the details hadn't been fully explained before. It made sense that Elizabeth didn't know a lot about her biological parents and wanted to know more. You just hadn't ever thought you'd accidentally stumble into it. Okay. We don't want to keep that information from either of you. It's your right to know your past. But we did want to wait until you asked us to hear yourselves. Well, it's happening now, so... Rude ass. They have been good to Elizabeth. And she's gonna be a rude ass. I really don't like Elizabeth's character. Like, she's just so bratty and full of herself. Okay. I adopted you from the Philippines when you were just a baby. My friend's actually from the Philippines. That's kind of cool. Elizabeth dropped her arms and her eyebrows shooting upward in surprise. I wasn't born here? No. You could clearly see that your sister was appalled by this information. You struggled even more with what to do or how to react. Am I gonna have to pass some tests to even be a citizen? No. You were adopted into the country. We took care of things. You're already a citizen. You have nothing to worry about. I followed all the laws when it came to bringing a child into the U.S. Nothing could be held against you. I mean, I guess that really hits a lot for, like, nowadays. Like, how crazy the world is around us. There are people who actually have to worry about that. Like, I have a lot of friends who, like, them or their spouses weren't born in the United States. And with all the craziness going on in the world, they kind of, like, have to take a second and be like, they know they're good. They know that they have everything squared away, but it's becoming more frequent on the news. All these Americans getting taken because they don't look like a U.S. citizen, or what people think a U.S. citizen should look like. That's crazy. That honestly scares me for my friends and their families. Who were my parents as people? Why did they put me up for adoption in the first place? Ma softly put her hands over Elizabeth's shoulder, trying to provide some support before she gave her the answer.
I am so sorry.
Your parents were reported to have died. They didn't go into detail on the specifics of how, but you were an orphan. I wish we had better news for you, Elizabeth. Elizabeth was torn between emotions, her eyes filled with tears as she threw her hands in the air, settling on enraged. Great, so I could never meet them, even if I wanted to. Not that I could have anyway, since they lived in another part of the world when they were still alive. She turned her back on you and your moms and stormed off, sprinting up the stairs into her room before anyone could stop her. I have to go talk to her. Mom immediately started to follow her, but Mom gently held her by the arm and shook her head. We should give her a little space to process it all. Your mom's head hung low, but she stopped walking. With Elizabeth now gone, the two of them seemed to remember you and Lee were still standing awkwardly off to the side. I'm sorry you had to see all that. It's not how I expected it would have happened when the time came. But since it's the topic of the day, is there anything you would like to ask? You deserve to know after all. I think I chose not to hear, so I'm gonna go with I want to know. Okay, your parents both nodded in sync to your reply, ready to talk. I can leave if you want to have things be private. I want you to be here. I could do that. You turned to face your parents again, preparing yourself for what they were about to tell you. You were adopted as a baby, but 2 years after Elizabeth, we used a different organization that time, and you were adopted within the U.S. Your parents had also passed away, and no other family members took you in if there were any. That's why we wanted to wait until you asked. We didn't want to suddenly drop that in your lap. We wanted you to be prepared.
I'm sorry.
What? I did want to know, and now I do. If there's anything else you want to know, all you have to do is ask. We'll do our best to answer any questions you have.
Are you okay?
Lee watched you closely as though judging how exactly she should react to what's going on. I feel fine. No one seemed to have any words after that. I have more questions. As a person, I always ask a lot of questions. Even if it's the dumbest of ones. So, I feel like one question I would ask is, so they had a choice between me and another, child. Why'd they choose me? I ask such crazy, outlandish questions. I have more questions. I want to be told that I was, the most adorable baby and they had to just have me, or whatever the case may be. Ah. I think I chose to go see Elizabeth. I'm gonna choose to stay. You took a step closer to your mom's, glancing at them nervously. You wanted to show them somehow that this wasn't their fault. The last thing you wanted was for them to feel sad about it. Are you okay? Your moms both smiled at you softly, a little thrown off by the question. We're only as good as you right now. You're a sweet child to be being concerned about your moms like that. It's sad hearing that they died, but I guess because I didn't know them, it doesn't upset me. You're my family. You always have been. Ma came over and wrapped her arms around you, giving you a tight hug. It didn't take long for Mom to join in, putting her arms around the both of you. We couldn't have asked for a better kiddo. More than we could ever say. Aww. It was a nice moment, and you enjoyed it for as long as you could. They both pulled back eventually, grinning at you. You knew then that you all had each other and always would. Aw, how precious. Knock on the door had you all snapping your heads forward for a moment before you exchanged confused looks. Okay.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Let me move out of the way. Yippee. Hello. Hi. In the corner. Okay, hello, Cove. I see you come for a visit. When you nodded your head, she turned back to Cove with a smile. They're right here. Come on in. Cove stepped into the house, giving you a wave. Upon seeing everyone standing around, his eyebrows dipped a little.
Are you okay?
Everything okay? Things seem kind of off. You were glad that he stopped by, even if the timing was odd to him. It was perfect. With a hand, you indicated him to follow you into the living room. While your moms and Lee headed off to give you two some privacy, you explained to him what had just happened. Okay. A voice made you all look up, and you saw your sister standing at the bottom of the stairs.
So?
Would you mind going? I just want to talk to Lynk. You can come back. It's not going to be forever or anything. Wow, that's so rude. Just be like, I know you just got here, but like, leave. That is so my little sister. Which is funny that Lizzie is the older sister in the game. That is so much like my younger sister. Okay. Well, she just had her world torn apart, so as a...
Really?
Okay, she made a little move along gesture with her hands, and it was all settled. Okay. Did moms tell you about your parents too? Elizabeth broke eye contact after that.
Sorry.
Why did you want to talk to me? I was worried about you. I was the one who brought it up, but I made you deal with whatever was left when I was gone. Okay. I wanted to ask you what happened without everyone breathing down our necks. Thank you for thinking of me. It didn't upset me. How are you allowed to be that mature? The lightning spirit in her... The lightning spirits in her were quickly gone as she slipped back into a scowl. You have to be born in the U.S. to become president. What? You had never heard of that dream of hers before. She noticed your bafflement and continued. I get I was never going to be president, but it just feels weird having stuff taken away, not even getting a chance at it. I don't like having to know that when I was born, I was going to have a completely different life. So different that I can't even think about what it looked like in my head. I could have spoken another language, lived away from everything I've ever seen here, had someone else as my sibling. And the life I got became a totally new thing forever. I can't go back to what it was even if I wanted to. I mean, I completely get that. From what I've heard from my friend who, like, was born in the Philippines and lived there for a lot of her life, it is a completely different world over there. And, like, she showed me pictures and videos and talks about it a lot. And it sounds amazing. At the same time, I could see how it's completely different. Though, this chick also straight up tried to offer me a whole, like, fish. And she said you have to eat, like, every part of the fish. And I was like, I don't even eat regular fish. Does Swedish fish count? And she kind of laughed and she goes, no, you gotta, like, eat this and eat that and da da da. And then something about banana ketchup. I don't know if that's a Philippines thing or not, but I'm very concerned by that. If you guys have tried banana ketchup, please let me know what it's like. I've heard multiple things from a lot of people that I've talked to that have tried it at work. But, like, this girl's like, it's so good, it tastes like regular ketchup. No, ketchup tastes like ketchup. That's a freaking banana, not a tomato. Anyways, you knew exactly how she felt. It was a confusing feeling to have lived one way for as long as you can remember, but not having it be what it was originally yours. I mean, I guess understandable? Elizabeth watched you seriously. She was trying to make sense of this to you and to herself. I don't know why today was the day. Nothing came up to make me ask the question. It was just something I've had in my head for a while. When it was just me and Mom's in the living room, I just kind of said it, finally. Okay. Learning about them and what happened doesn't change how I feel about our family. I already figured a long time ago that Moms weren't our biological parents. That wasn't news. Just keep listening. Nothing about the family I was born in would have made me decide this wasn't my family anymore. So if you'd hoped you'd be free of my big sisterly status, don't think you're so lucky.
You'll always be my little sibling.
She seemed pleased with how the conversation had gone in the end. We should let them come back now. They're probably wondering what's going on. It's been a long day for everybody. Lee and Cove came back down too, poking their heads out from behind your moms. How did the talk go? See, she does look like Ma. So, I mean, that one option was an option to say. I hope there was no disownment happening down here. Hey, I hope you're alright. Lee came up towards you. And are you okay, Elizabeth? Elizabeth rolled her eyes and huffed a breath. You knew she wasn't used to showing her vulnerable side.
Fine.
Jeez. Since we're all here now, how about we do something together? Sounds like an excellent idea. We should have some fun before the night's over.
Totally.
Okay. Why not? No matter what you could have said about it, you wanted him to be there. He was someone who was really important to you. It should be something we could do here in the house with everyone in the same room. We could just put on a movie. That'd be wonderful. It's good to me.
Me too.
I'll cook up some popcorn. The rest of you could pick a movie. What do we have in mind? Everyone else can decide. I'll watch anything. Anything but drama. We don't need any more of that today. I like horror movies. Family friendly or comedy? We'll go with family friendly. Perfect. Okay. Since there's only so much room on the couch, I say it should go to Lynk and I since this is our day. I want to sit with you too. I'm small, you won't even notice I'm there. Ah, so rude.
Please?
I want to sit with the cool kids too. Surely there's room for one more, right? It might be a tight fit, but we can make it work. You could fit 3 people on that couch. I'm sorry, but excuse me, I might be in the way. Hold on, let me make sure. Okay, yeah, no. So this couch right up here, my head's kind of blocking it a little, but there's 1, 2, 3 seats. And as kids, you're smaller, so technically you could fit 4 kids on that couch. So technically the kids could sit there. I bet you want to sit there too, huh, Cove? It may have been what Elizabeth was after, but you preferred being left out of it. Ooh. I just want to sit wherever the popcorn's at, dude. We all want to sit with Elizabeth and Lynk, but there's not enough room on the couch.
What a pickle.
Suppose there's only one solution. Elizabeth, Lynk, and Lynk will have to sit on the floor in front of the couch. That way there's spots behind them and on the floor at their sides. Ah, that tricky right there. Because technically, if Elizabeth and me were on the couch, and one more person on the couch, then there's seats in front of us, technically. Or all 4 kids on the couch and the parents on the floor. But also, I would not make my parents sit in the floor.
Yes.
Ah.
Rude. Sorry.
That's the cost of popularity. Jeez. There was a mad dash as Mom and Lee raced for the couch behind you. Cove took a seat at your other side on the floor, giving you a small smile. Everyone soon quieted down, and the only sound to be heard were the hands scooping up popcorn and munching down as the movie began. Okay, that was nice. But I am gonna end this video here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.